Impact segment tonight, beyond shocking, but in the first 100 days of this year, nearly 900 people have been shot in the city of Chicago. Last year, 3,000 people were shot in the Windy City. Most of the violence generated by drug gangs populated by young African-American men.
We also have to have an organized effort against gangs, just as in a previous generation we had an organized effort against the mob. We need to take these people on. They are often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Earlier this week at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, you called out President Clinton for defending Secretary Clinton's use of the term super predator back in the 90s when she supported the crime bill. Why did you call him out?
Because it was a racist term and everybody knew it was a racist term.
That's bull. That is bull. There are super predators who are black. And if Sanders doesn't know that, he's not qualified for any public office. Telling the truth is not racist, but allowing the kind of violence we are seeing in Chicago is. With us now, Jason Riley, Senior Fellow at the Manhattan Institute. Have you ever seen the media challenge Bernie Sanders on that incredibly dishonest and stupid statement?
No. What I think you see here is political pandering. Both Clinton and Sanders need the black support, something approximating what President Obama got, and so they are pandering to the black activists.
Most African Americans know there are super predators among their ethnic group.
Well, everyone knows.
They know it?
Everyone knows the truth. They know that cops are not the biggest threat to young black men. They know other black men are the biggest threat to young black men. Everyone knows this. This is obvious. But the left is pushing a political narrative here. They want to pretend that our morgues and our cemeteries are full of young black men because cops are shooting them.
Okay,
everyone knows that is not the problem.
The bulk of the African-American community makes up 13% of the American population. So you're telling me that when they're lied to, because it's just a lie. I mean, describing gang members who murder other people as super predators is accurate. It's not a racist statement.
The leading cause of death among young black men is homicide. It's homicide, and it is not because cops are shooting them.
But then
everyone knows this.
But if everyone knows it, including all of the law-abiding African Americans, why don't they stop people like Bernie Sanders from lying about it?
The activists want to blame it on white racism, and that's their agenda. They're trying to gin up the black vote, and so this is what they are saying, and this is what the activists want to hear.
Why are African Americans going along with it? This is what I don't understand. Look, I think it's racist that the city of Chicago, run by uber Democrat Rahm Emanuel, is allowing this kind of violence to take place in the city year in and year out and not doing anything about it.
A lot of black people are not going along with it, but the media doesn't go and talk to those black people. We get these stories about how black people don't trust the police. Bill, black people call the police more than anybody in America. That's a funny way of showing you don't trust cops. Bad cops should be prosecuted, but let's not pretend that they are the root of the problem in these neighborhoods.
I agree with that.
They are not, but that is what the left wants to push politically, and so that is what they push.
This is never going to be solved unless African Americans rise up and demand protection.
Law-abiding members in these communities are the victims. They call the cops because that's where the violence is. And the cops here, you know, there isn't an institution in the United States that cares more about black lives than cops.
However,
they put themselves in the crossfire here voluntarily.
Most police officers, I agree with you, but Emanuel commissioned a study which found that the Chicago police force is tougher on blacks than whites. And I believe that. I believe there's an us against them mentality in Chicago and some other cities where not only white police officers but black police officers see these super predators, and give them a hard time. And there is a more suspicious profile.
There's a lot of tension.
I believe that.
There's a lot of tension in the black community between black criminals and the police. Yes, I think that's
sometimes that spills over to innocent. Yeah, but sometimes it spills over to law-abiding black youth, and we all know that happens. It's not a conscious thing. But it happens.
And it's based on black behavior.
It's sometimes. But sometimes there are police officers.
The stereotype
who are too
is
quick.
driven by
Right.
crime statistics, which we don't talk about enough. Who's committing the crimes? The police are targeting the communities where the crime is taking place.
But it's not just.
And that's what law-abiding members of those neighborhoods want the police.
It's not just Bernie Sanders and, to some extent, Hillary Clinton, who's backed away from her super predator remark, that's at fault. The Republican Party is too. Because none of the Republican politicians will take on this Chicago situation. They won't take it on. There was an Illinois primary. Who was in Chicago demanding protection for law-abiding, innocent black citizens and their children?
Well,
what politician was there?
You've been on the receiving end of this. When you take it on, what happens?
I'm a racist.
Exactly.
Okay, every time I do this, I'm branded a racist. But I don't care, because the greater good it's served is telling the truth about the story.
Politicians are known for having
courage? Did I know? Is that the word we're looking for here?
It's rare in the political world.
Look, I'm going to say one more thing, and I'll give you the last word. If you want black citizens, all right, to improve their security and economic well-being, you have to tell the truth about the root causes of the problem. And the truth is not being told. Last word.
And the root cause of the problem, I believe largely, as you say often, is the breakdown of the black family.
That is a huge,
These young black men shooting each other with no sense of what it means to be a man. No fathers around.
Supervision.
No supervision.
No moral
and
guidance.
So forth.
Right.
And also not having the access, I think, to decent schools.
And Bernie Sanders should apologize.
A big part of the problem.
Bernie Sanders should apologize to Hillary Clinton.